Alright, so today we're learning about Ling. Ling is a very interesting character. He came out of he's not like a recent character because he came out a while now. But when he did release, he had a lot of stuff that was new to the game. So he basically his character is able to not Ling. His character is basically able to jump on walls. As you can see, Cloud Walker. He can basically jump on walls and stuff, right? Like that, right? And you can hop from wall to wall, right? He has a stock. Well, his full skill is to jump on walls. This basically just makes him. Let's see, what the hell is the difference? I guess his passive is just Cloud Walker, which allows him to go on the wall, and his full skill basically just makes him go on the wall, I guess. His second skill is basically like a sword thrust. So he does go and he do a sword thrust. And then his ult is Tempest of Blades, which does this cool animation thingy ting ting. And I'll go into more details with that afterwards. So there's two ways you can play Ling. I'll show you the two ways. So with Ling, the emerald that you want to use is there's not Ling. Ling. I don't use Ling now much, but I do know how to use them. Um, where is right? There we go. Ling. Right. So the emblems that you want to use for this guy is well, I use the fighter because of the adaptive attack. You wanna have more adaptive attack as possible for this guy. You can use the assassin build for penetration, movement speed, and some adaptive attack, or you can use the physical emblem, which gives hybrid regen. Honestly, this doesn't really affect Ling that much. He is not kind of regen character. He's like really fast damage, depending on how you're using him. A little bit of HP extra because he's a really squishy hero, and you get adaptive attack. I use the fighter emblem because you get some defense, some other. Well, I have more adaptive attack on this, so I'd use that. And spell vamp. A little bit of spell vamp is nice. So the items you can use is you can use rupture for adaptive penetration, or you can use thrill. So first I'll go into the damage build, right? So you can use these two items, or if you want you can go with the crit and 10% crit damage. It's really up to the person. You can use weapon master for physical attack. Ling doesn't have magic power, so I just give him physical attack. Or you can get master assassin if you target heroes by themselves. For his last emblem skill, you can you can get impure rage, so you do adaptive damage, restores mana, and the adaptive damage is you basically do a percentage of HP, which is 4% extra. You can also get quantum charge, which basically is actually no, this is terrible for him actually, because you don't really use M1s with Ling. That's actually kind of bad. I guess you can use this, but I wouldn't recommend it. You can also use Warcry. Warcry is good since Ling does like does skill combos, but I would recommend Impure Rage. Warcry is cool too if you know what you're doing. Impure Rage if you just want like additional damage. So that's the damage emblems that you wanna go for. There's this guy. There we go. So the training now, I'll explain each skill and so on. So this skill, I wouldn't recommend using flicker. For Ling, you may want to use like execute or some. Oh no, you jungle with Ling. So you would jungle with Ling, so you'll be using retribution. Sorry. If you roam with Ling, I guess you can use flicker or execute or something. Well, I would say jungle with him though, because he's an assassin and you wanna get like his stuff. Yeah. So the boots you wanna get is, let me just give myself some gold. So the boots you wanna get is between these two. You wanna get the cooldown reduction boots, or you wanna get the tough boots, the magic boots, or you wanna get the tough boots. It's between these two. Warrior boots, I wouldn't recommend it. Arcane boots, basically does nothing for him. Attack speed, as I said, he doesn't really M1 when fighting heroes. And rapid boots, I guess you can get it for the extra movement speed and slow reduction, but you more want to get like this for CC reduction, because Ling is a squishy hero, and if he does get stunned, more than likely he's gonna die if you don't get away in time. So you can get a CC reduction, or you can get a cooldown reduction for extra cooldown reduction. So yeah, for me personally, I will go with the tough boots. So you can buy the tough boots, right? So the items you wanna get now for this guy, the first item you wanna get is blade of heptases. So you can get, or you can get hunter strike. It's between these two. It's really up to you. If you single out enemies, you can get these, right? That basically be your first item if you just want to be pure damage. However, with Ling, what you want to get, not also get, but what you want to get first is Sky Piercer. Now, Sky Piercer, basically, you execute at a certain HP. So with Ling, this is very good because he's an assassin that kind of comes in and attacks. Yeah. Like basically, you're hiding like bushes, or you'd be on top of the wall and so on. I'll explain all the skills in a while. So basically, you kind of run around, you'd come, you'd jump, and you'd do a little combo. Or do your combo just. But basically, that's what you wanna do with Ling. You sneak up and you attack. So I would recommend getting Sky Piercer first. However, if you just want to be like pure damage, is between these two. So I'll go the Sky Piercer build first, and the Sky Piercer add it onto the build first, and then I'll just go with pure damage. So what Ling is pure damage, is just you just gain like additional items besides Sky Piercer. So you wanna get Sky Piercer first, then you wanna get Hunter Strike or Blade of Heptases. It's between. You can buy either or, right? But you wanna get both of them. You wanna get both of them, obviously, but it's either or, whichever one you're gonna buy first. If you are more of hunting down squishy heroes like marksman and so on early game, when they're by themselves, you can get Blade of Heptases. If you just want extra retribution damage to like creeps and stuff, extra movement speed, you can buy the hunter. Also, if you want cooldown reduction, you can get this. If you want some HP, you can get this. So it depends on whichever one you want to get first. Next item you want to get is Malefic Roll, which gives penetration, and then you want to get Blade of Despair. Right, so this is basically a build for Ling that you want to be using. Right, it's Ling's main source of damage build. If you want, you can sub out Malefic Raw for Berserker's Fury, so you do a little more damage. You critical more, you crit more and so on. So yeah. So that's basically Ling's like Sky Piercer build. If you want, you can switch out this for some people use this as to give some extra oh, that's a lot of damage. Okay, so this is actually a pretty good item that some people use. So you can actually get this for extra crit chance. Because you have this, you're basically going to be critting all the time. So yeah, so this is an item that you would replace Sky Piercer with in Ling's build, right? So you'll be doing some big boy damage with this. Another item you can buy is you can buy Malefic Roar, or in some cases, some people buy Rose Gold Meteor so that he doesn't die or gets one shot or anything. Some people also get Wind of Nature. I'm not sure why. I guess they use it for like the 1 second of wind charm, I guess. I don't really see the use for that, but some people also basically they would use this slot as like a sobbing slot. Like they buy this, they buy this, and basically rotate. Some people also get endless battle for special amounts. But I wouldn't recommend this. So you can choose what you want to do with this, but these 4 items, 5 items. Well, the boots is optional. The boots is between this and this. But these items are kind of mandatory for Ling. So that's basically Ling's build. So how to use Ling? So in order to use Ling, you want to use him as an assassin. Now, when I mean an assassin, I mean you don't just kind of walk up to them and be like, oh yeah, let's go on your attack. No, you don't do that way. So Ling, as you can see, is a really squishy hero. Let me just max level. So Ling is a really squishy hero. So you don't want to be doing that with him, right? So with Ling, you want to do something like this. So you want to use your first skill to jump on the walls, sneak up to heroes, and use your second skill to get down from the wall like this, right? Now your second skill also have a next use. You can use it to dash like that, right? So you can use it to get away from people. However, if you aim it towards someone, it would do a lunge attack. So you can use it for many different uses. You can use it to get off the wall and speak in your attack. You can use it to get away, as to dash away slowly, and you can also use it as an attack where he lunges forward and he does an attack. He can also go through walls with his skill, so it's a really good skill to get away. If your first skill is off cooldowns, you can do stuff like this and get away. Yeah, so that's basically his first and second skill. His first skill is really just to jump on walls and so on. Once you're on the wall, you can't get down from the wall unless you have your second skill or your ultimate, and I'll get into the ultimate in a bit. First, I want to explain the white bar below Ling's HP. That bar is his energy bar. Basically, Ling skills uses energy, not mana, and as you can see, the energy replenishes over time. And basically, when you kill something, kill a creep or kill someone, you'll get a bit more energy regenerated. However, if you go on the wall, you regenerate energy faster than you would on the floor. So as you can see, my mana goes up. It doesn't go up slower, but it increases by more when I'm on the wall. So let's get into his ult now, since I already covered his white bar. Also, his skills uses this white bar if for some reason that you run out of energy, like this for example, you won't be able to use your first skill, and if you get to a certain point where your second skill, where you don't have enough money, your second skill also, you won't be able to use your second skill either, and the same applies for your ultimate. So let's get into the ultimate now. So the ultimate is an attack that goes something like this, right? You do that, you go down, you drop these an attack, and you drop these swords which you can pick up and collect. Now you may think that these swords are just kind of just there for, just to pick up and so on, run around your opponent and do this, do this, do this, do this, and do this. No, it isn't for that. So what you want to do is, let me put on no cooldown. So what you want to do with your ult is, if you hold down the ult, you'll actually see, like four things kind of rotating, those are where your swords are going to land. So let's just say, for example, you're comfortable starting off with the sword on the right hand side, right? Instead of your swords being like this, you're accustomed dashing this direction, but your sword is in there. You can change it there. You can change it there, and you're basically fine. So how to use the alt? So your alt, what you want to do is you want to do something like this. So you want to use your alt. When you land, you want to teleport to the sword, teleport to there, teleport to there, and teleport to there. This is kind of wrong, but you get the point. So what do these swords do? As you saw that I was able to use my second skill consecutively. I am able to do it consecutively now because I have no cooldown off. But if I were to take that off and I were to do it now, you would see that I'm able to do it still. I basically have no cooldown on the skill. If I were to do it here, I'll have a cooldown if I don't collect the swords, and that's because that when you collect the swords, it resets your skill cooldown for your second skill. Let me just right there we go. You reset your cooldown. Basically that's how that works. Right? It replenishes your cooldown for your first skill a bit, but because your first skill has a somewhat long-ish cooldown, it doesn't like replenish it instantly. Your second skill doesn't have that much of a cooldown, so it basically makes it off cooldown immediately when you collect the sword. Right? So basically Ling's combo works something like this. You do that, you do that, you do that, you do that, and you do that. The faster you do it, and after you collect your last sword, you can probably jump on a wall and get away because there's nothing else you can really do. If they're on like 1 HP, you can try to M1 them, or you can try to wait for your second skill to come off cooldown and attack them. So, let me just go by a creep that has more HP, like the Lord, for instance. So if I were to do something like this, right, I can go to that sword, it would attack, you can go there, you can go there, you can go there, you can go there, and then you can run away like that. And that's basically how you want to do his combo. So you want to jump to the wall, do this, and you can actually follow them if they try to run away somewhat. If they use flicker and they get away and so on, some heroes can't do that. So you want to be wary of who has flicker, who has like sprint, and who has CC immune and so on. This all does CC for like 1 second when you fall on him. When you fall on him, he CCs, well, stun. CC is crowd control is stun. Stun means that the enemy is immobilized. So it basically, as soon as you drop, you see that it knocks him up. That basically stuns him for like a little duration. But that's enough for Ling to actually do his combo around and so on. Right? And that's basically Ling's combo for his damage. So let me get into the next way you can build Ling now. Remember, if you're building this build, you want to have retribution as your item and you want to be a jungler. So keep that in mind. So the next build you can do for Ling is my personal favorite, right? So usually when I use Ling, I'm not good with Ling, as you saw, like with combo wise and so on. I'm not good with doing all of that. Most likely I'm gonna fumble and I'm gonna die. So what I do when I want to play Ling is I do this. My bad. So I do this. Let me just find my Ling. So I don't use Ling as a damage dealer per se. What I use Ling for is a runner. So as you saw, his first skill is good for mobility, his second skill is good for mobility, and also in his ult, I forgot to mention, he has iframes. Now iframes, as I mentioned before, let's just say that we haven't seen that video on my Sun tutorial. Iframes are basically means that the hero is invincible and untargetable, unstunnable, damage immune, all of that good stuff. That's what iframes are. And basically invincible. right? So the build I like to use for Ling is I go for the healing emblem, the support emblem, because it gives me 5 extra movement speed and cooldown reduction. I will get agility for 4% extra movement speed. I will get um pull yourself together, which basically makes it so that my skill cooldowns are less. And basically I sometimes I also use wilderness blessing, which basically makes it so that I get more movement speed in the jungle, right? But my go-to is to get this, and my last item for Ling is gonna be um I actually I can't remember. I think it's this one, yeah. Temporary. Basically when you use the ultimate, your skill cooldowns are less and so on. I mean you can also use quantum charge so you get some movement speed, but honestly I would much prefer temporary. So that's basically the emblems I use. I use sprint as my battle spell. Right. So you go to heroes, you go to Ling, hero training. Right. And basically the first item you wanna buy for this guy. So first you're gonna get some gold. So the first item you wanna buy is either between cooldown reduction and rapid boots. Personally, I like to go with rapid boots as it gives me slow reduction and more movement speed. Next thing I wanna get is thunderbolt because it gives movement speed. I wanna get that. Next thing I wanna get is dominance right because it gives movement speed. Next thing I wanna get is immortality because it gives her free revive. Next thing I wanna get is what else does it? Oh, I wanna get guardian helmet because of the passive regen. And lastly, I would want to get you can get queen's wings, or you can get cursed cursed helmet. Basically makes it so that you do more damage and so on. But honestly, I'm not really for damage, so I really look at like who's the main damage dealer. Well, it's like physical, and I just kind of adapt to that. But more than likely, I'm gonna be between these two. Not really those two, but it'll be between cursed helmet and twilight armor or this. Depends. So if they have magic, I choose this because it gives me HP regen and magic defense and HP. If it's physical, I choose this. And in general, if I'm just feeling like, HP and do a bit of damage, I can choose this. For now, I'm just going to buy the Twilight armor because why not? And that's basically the build you want to use for this guy. So as you can see, my movement speed is faster than what you'd usually see. Isn't as fast as what you'd expect, but it is quite fast. And basically when paired with this, you can do stuff like this. And you can roam around, you can do this. And you can do this for iframes. You can do this. So you can do that. Then you can pop sprint and continue to run. Right, you can do this while running and so on. Right, by the time my mana is replenishing, I can then do this. I can do this. And yeah, that's basically the build I use for Ling. So I hope you found this video useful. Like up, subscribe, and yeah, uh, yeah, that's about it. Have a good one.